Hello. So wonderful to be here with you all today. I'm going to talk about the cycle of birth and change, transformation, and death that exists out in nature, and just how that can be applied and learned, and to give us grounding during this time, a reminder of that cycle. So, if you all can just close your eyes before I get into that topic, I'll lead you through a meditation. And just take a deep breath, allowing yourself to settle, feeling your feet on the ground. Your feet are your physical connection to the planet. They can always be a source. Remembering your feet and the grounding energy that you can pull up from the planet can be a reminder of grounding wherever and whenever you go about your daily life. And I also want you to feel your skeletal system, your internal structure. This is what gives your body all its shape and form and stability from within. And just taking a moment to give gratitude to that system in your body. Taking another deep breath. And from this place of settlement from within, I want you to come along with me, and from a bit of a distance, just join me in looking at the 1980 Mount St. Helens eruption. So Mount St. Helens is a place that I will take people and when I do my wilderness tour guiding. And this is a pretty amazing mountain, showing really the force of what nature is capable of. So from afar, I want you to go with me and see how the process for Mount St. Helens erupting took place. So in the morning at 8:32 a.m. on May 17th, 1980, there was a 5.1 earthquake. So just take a moment to feel that earthquake, that shaking of the ground. So this triggered the world's largest recorded landslide in history. A cubic mile of the mountain, the top of the mountain slid off in 3 different parts. And then a lateral blast went off. So this was 700-degree gassy air that went out 17 miles out in some places, traveling at 300 miles an hour. And this really decimated a lot of the environment. This was 500 times more powerful than the atomic bomb, just this lateral blast. So there was also the ash column that went up 10 miles within 10 minutes. And pyroclastic flows that happen throughout the day, a mix of pumice and gas and hot air that 17 different times went out into the surrounding area. So all told, there was 27 square miles of land that was impacted by this eruption and over $1 billion worth of damage. So this was one of the US's largest natural disaster in our history, in our modern history. And you can, from your meditative space, just feel the decimation that happened. But I also want to call attention to all the life that lived through this eruption and the wonder of nature to be resilient, and that there is really no complete death, that there's a cycle out in nature, and that death of one species or a plant or an animal is food for another. So even though 57 people and 200 homes and 7,000 big animals were lost in the 1980 eruption, there were also northern pocket gophers underground that brought seeds up and soil up through the ash. And that brought life back. And there were bats in caves that also helped to bring life back. And saplings that were under the snow or had not yet really gotten that high that lived through the eruption. And depending on the lateral blast, where the topography, where the lateral blast hit, there were also areas of land that were less really decimated. And frozen lakes where tadpoles survived. So just taking a deep breath. This is a lot of words, but I'm coloring the environment, helping you to see that there is no black and white, that there is always a cycle of transformation. And within nature, nature recovers and it regenerates after big natural disasters. So there's a lot more that I could say, but I would like you to zoom out from this meditation and travel back and focus your energy again on your body. Returning to your body and feeling your body from within. And taking another deep breath from your center of gravity. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and join me. So, as I went through with that meditation, there really is such a cycle of birth and change and transformation and death out in nature. So we can see it in big examples like what happened with Mount St. Helens. And we can also feel it whenever we're out in nature in different ecosystems. So we can take, for instance, going into the jungle. And when you're in the jungle, this is a real vibrant place of lots of different stages of birth and change and death. And as a human body, this is actually a real vibrant place for you to feel alive. And I say this because in our day-to-day life, we tend to want to control things and manipulate things, and we can be scared about things dying or things changing. We get into a rhythm and we want them to stay as they are. And to a certain extent, we do need this structure and routines and certain things in place. However, there's so much that we cannot control, and it's a very natural process for things to change. And some changes are dramatic, like what happened with Mount St. Helens, just this huge, gigantic shift. But other changes are more gradual and that happen at a slower pace. And the more that we can just accept that change happens and that we are actually mirrors of what happens out in nature, the more we can allow things to go through that cycle of birth and change and death, the more we can just accept that that this is what happens. And so the less that you fight in your everyday life of things changing or dying or new things being birthed, the more you can just be in awe and choose to be excited and allowing for all these changes to take place, rather than to get nervous and stressed out and ambivalent or upset about these things changing. Just if you can choose to have a macro view and just allow all these stages. And granted, we have a lot of different narratives happening in our life of these changes happening. But we are reflections of nature. We definitely have the same cycles happening just as they happen out in nature. And so the more you can just allow things to go through that cycle, the happier and more calm and at peace you will be. And you might find that going out into nature when you're stressed out about these different cycles, that you can look around and see in the ecosystem these changes happening, and that can also give you a sense of calm. So I hope you found this helpful today, and I look forward to sharing more of these daily grounds with you. And please share this and bring a sense of calm wherever you go throughout your day and to others, and have a wonderful day.